Well, hey, Benjies. Welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. Man, y'all can just call me Randy, and I am a speaker and a podcaster. And I've got three bomb-ass co-hosts. Well, I mean, just co-hosts that are around anywhere. So my first co-host, she is an actress. She's a writer. She's a director. I mean, I just call her a superstar. Say what's up to the people, Miss Courtney Scott, right?
Hi.
And my next co-host, he is a serial entrepreneur. He's a game designer. He's part owner of the Geekish Network. Tell him who you are, fam. Tell him who you are.
What's up? What it do?
And this, our last co-host, he's also an actor and a writer. I call him the Game Spitter because, you know, every day on Geek Beats and right here on the BingeWorthy podcast, you can catch my guy spitting that fire, and that's 100% fact. Say what's up to the people, Centel.
Yo, what's cracking, yo? It's your boy Centel, just happy to snatch these remotes from some of my bestest cohorts, villains in disguise, TV entrepreneurial villains. I love y'all. Let's go.
I'm fighting back. I'm taking that remote.
Hey, you gonna get a fight here. So if you ain't gonna get a fight anywhere, you gonna get a fight here. And we are the BingeWorthy podcast. Man, it's good to see you guys. The Voltron is back. Voltron, we've come to form Voltron. We back. We missed you last week, fam, or a couple weeks ago, Chuck. You know, glad to have everybody everybody back. How's everybody doing today, man?
Good. Doing really good.
Good. Well, the premise of our show is that we will binge watch a television series throughout the week, and then we come right here to the BingeWorthy podcast to discuss that series. At the beginning of our show, we will rate that series based on our unique BingeWorthy scale. Then we engage in a high-level discussion, and at the end, we will re-rate it again, and maybe some of our co-hosts can influence us to change that rating. And speaking of rating, at number 5 for our rating is a full binge out. That just means this property is outstanding. It is one of those things that you cannot miss, and you will be left out if you do miss it. So you definitely want to watch it. At a number 4 is a full meal. A full meal is not a complete full binge out, but it is definitely worth your time to watch that property. At a number 3 is a mini meal. And a mini meal, while it isn't bad, it isn't great either, right? It's just kind of bland. Courtney always describes it as a TV dinner, and I always add without any Lyris seasoning. It's just kind of plain. At a number 2, we call a mini meal. And a mini meal is one of those shows where you're just watching it because ain't shit else on TV. And you just sitting at the crib, bored in the panorama with nothing else to do, and you done watched everything. And at a number 1 is what we call a cringe-worthy. And a cringe-worthy is just some old bullshit. And a popular thought that I always like to say, Chuck, why the hell did you make us watch this? So that's just a number 1 of the cringe-worthy. And that is our scale. And as you guys have heard just in crosstalk, tonight we're talking the book of Boba Fett. The book 1 of Boba Fett. We just watched the last episode, so we've seen them all here. So we're kind of your first review of the entire series. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off our rating. So normally we kind of start Courtney at the end. Courtney, we're going to ask you to kick us off. How are you going to rate the book of Boba Fett?
I knew you were going to do that to me. I knew it. First of all, I just want to reiterate, we have watched the complete series, so we are going to spoil this show. So to those of you who have not watched the show, we don't want you to leave, but we want you to know first up, you're going to get some information that you weren't quite ready for. So Watch at your own risk. With that said, I don't even know where to start. I got lots of feelings. First of all, why? I just want to know why. A lot of my problems are why did they do that? And I'm leaning towards a snack. And that's just because of 2 episodes, 5 and 6. If it were not for 5 and 6, it would be some old bullshit, as Chuck likes to say. So I'm just, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm hoping my friends, my brothers can help raise my feelings, some understandings, because I missed the boat on a lot of shit.
So is it a snack? You giving it a snack?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll jump in here next. There were some things in Boba Fett that I didn't like, and there were some things that I did. So for me, we talked about it a little bit in Crosstalk. The Book of Boba Fett, while I got a little tired of it, it actually made me give a shit about Tatooine. I've never given a shit about Tatooine. Like, even in The New Hope, I was like, when are we getting off this planet? In The Phantom Menace, I was like, when are we, like, as soon as they got out of there, the shit was bad. I even said in Revenge of the Sith, I was like, Luke got the raw deal. Leia got to go live on a planet with a princess. She's a head of the Senate, and Luke grew up on Tatooine. Like, that's some bad fate for your ass. But with this, it actually made me care about it a little bit. The politics, some of the things out there. So that was some of the things that I cared about. I thought it got mired a little bit down in too much backstory, because Boba Fett is a character that we know. Yeah, we know who he is, but we don't know a lot about him. And they spent a lot of time with a backstory for a series that only had 7 episodes. The turnaround in the series was actually a series that it had nothing to do with Boba Fett. One of the best episodes of the series had nothing to do with Boba Fett. And if your show is called The Book of Boba Fett, a third of it can't be not about Boba Fett. Like, how do we do that? Like, what are we doing?
Well, a whole third. I'm like a third of the show.
Right. Like, how? Now, it did have a great villain, but we didn't spend that much time with him because we spent all this time in, like, mired in backstory.
Sorry. Question. Who's the villain?
Cad.
Okay, but he didn't come in until episode
I said we didn't spend a lot of time. Right. We didn't spend a lot of time with him. We got a great, well, let me rephrase it. We got a great opportunity for a great villain. But he spent like 1 episode in it, or a little bit at the end. And yeah, so those were the problems that we had for almost everything that I thought was good. There was something bad to counter that. So I'm not going to go as far as Courtney and give it a snack. I thought it was the definition of a mini meal. There were some things that I didn't like. There were some things that I did. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't good. So that's how I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a mini meal. Centel, we're going to throw it over to you, man. How are you going to rate Boba Fett?
Okay, listen. Overall, it was absolutely underwhelming. It was meh on a lot of different ways. Well, first we got a story about a bounty hunter, and there's no damn bounty hunting. We don't really have a villain until the last 2 episodes, and it just kind of came and went really fast. It didn't really have an identity, because I'm like, are you trying to be Godfather 2 or are you trying to be Dune? Because you're failing at both. I think it was a great opportunity for one of my all-time favorite directors, but I think that there was a disconnect between Robert Rodriguez and Jon Favreau, and it shows. It felt like Disney gave up halfway through the season and was like, we got to save it, just throw in some Mandalorian, keep the people here. Even though I know that's not what really happened, it felt that way. And then even on the final episode, Mandalorian still kind of steals the show. So it's not god awful. There were some things that I did like and we'll talk about it. So I'm not going to give it an absolute snack or cringeworthy. I'm going to give it a mini meal with the hopes of maybe maintaining the mini meal and not dropping down to cringeworthy, because I don't think anything we say or do is going to have it being above a mini meal.
I would concur with you, bro. So Chuck, man, bring us on home. How are you going to rate the Book of Boba Fett?
I'm going to give it a mini meal. I found this series interesting for a number of reasons, because it covers Boba Fett and from the Clone Wars all the way through, like his relationship with Cad Bane. I like the ending of how it ended, and that's been happening over three different series, basically, Cad Bane and Boba Fett, and I like how this one ended it. With the Book of Boba Fett, I wish they did focus on Boba Fett, and they didn't focus on him at all. Yeah, they didn't focus on him, and they went to the past. I didn't mind the flashback. I think they spent too much time with the Tuscans. You know, I didn't need all that time spent with the Tuscans. I'd rather for him to get back to who he was or thought he was and fighting the demons he had. Because we can understand, when Boba Fett was a young kid, he was an asshole. He was a horrible young kid. His dad was the best of the Mandalorian fighters. Was the best bounty hunter who mentored Cad Bane, who, when he died, Cad Bane took his place, then mentored Boba Fett. And people don't realize that's how it happened. So Boba Fett father figure became Cad Bane after his father died, after Jango passed. And so I enjoyed that aspect. I wish it relied more on that. They brought Cad in like episode 2, and it's Cad working with the Pike, which was actually established fairly strongly in not the third series with Omega.
With what you call it? The Bad Batch?
The Bad Batch. So they established it really strong with who the Pike wore, and the Pike running spice across the galaxy, and how badass the Pike wore. The Pike are badass. And I thought we didn't really get to see that. I really wish it really been a standoffish ground fight between the Pike with Cad Bane on their side and Boba Fett with the people of Tatooine.
Okay.
And you mean the Lollipop Guild? Kids Incorporated.
Yes, the Kids Incorporated. Yeah, the modified. Yeah, the modified. But more than them though. But there's other things on Tatooine that they didn't explore, which I was like, why didn't they explore this or that? And I was like, oh, that's weird. That's weird. They should have explored more things on Tatooine, but they didn't do so. So, I felt as though this series felt rushed, like they were rushed to get it to market. They should have spent more time cooking it as well. They had a bunch of flaws in it.
So Chuck, you gave it a mini meal. So that
Yes.
score is it's 11. We round up for 2.75. We round that up. So right now we've got a cumulative score of a mini meal at a 3. If we round it up 2.75, we round up to 3. So we got a cumulative score. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that the pilot. What did you guys think about the pilot? Did it Well, okay, so we pick up with Boba Fett. Like, he's been in the silent pit, since Return of the Jedi. And this is an explanation that he survived. So, Courtney, you said it's trash. Well, what didn't you like about it?
What didn't I like about it?
Mm-hmm.
The pilot?
Mm-hmm.
All of it? Well, I mean, okay, here's the thing. The main thing for me, Centel touched on, Boba Fett, as you got on my t-shirt, our usual suspects, okay? Boba Fett is right there. And he is a bounty hunter. He hunted not one bounty. Now, I understand we have the Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and Mandalorian has been established as our quote unquote bounty hunter. We don't really need 2 Mandalorians. So I understand how they're distinguishing between Boba Fett and Mandalorian who's following the true way. I understand that. However, you have built the history and lore of a character who really doesn't say anything in the entire Star Wars franchise.
He does it.
We've all got history with Boba Fett. We love Boba Fett, but he says not one word. Okay? And I mean, he says a couple of words. I take that back. He's got a couple of words. So we have an affection, an affinity for Boba Fett. And then you completely rewrite his whole story. Even from like when he was in The Mandalorian. He was in The Mandalorian. It was dope. Him and Fennec Shan, they show up. They're like, I want my ship, I want my armor back. You help me get my armor back, and I'll help you get your kid back. You know what I mean? Like, boom, let's do it. Quid pro quo. Great. I was super excited about it. And then they ended it, and he's sitting up in Jabba the Hutt's chair at the end of The Mandalorian season 2. And I was like, wonder where they gonna go with this. Nowhere. They went nowhere. Because he's sitting in that chair and decided, like, you're gonna give me some like backstory with the Tuscan Warriors, which I'm gonna get to that one. And he's, he had found his family, and now he wants to sit down and just be a really nice godfather.
I think watching the other shows, in the movies, you get that from Boba Fett. But when you watch the shows, when you watch Clone Wars, all the Clone Wars, when you watch the Bad Batch, you get a different affinity for Boba Fett. Like in the Clone Wars, I
haven't gotten to Boba in the Clone Wars. He's
like a kid in the
He's
Clone
a kid, and he's looking for a family. He's looking for a family, and Cad Bane runs the family he ends up partnering with. And
I do remember that.
And he helps Cad Bane, but he has 5 other people, and they all betray him.
Right.
And they betray him because his father's Jango, and everybody knows who Jango is. Jango's the biggest badass in the galaxy, apparently. That's why they cloned him. And he had the first clone, which is Boba. And Boba didn't know he was cloned till Cad Bane told him after his father passed. So he's always looking for family. He's looking for people to believe in him and trust in him. He was just a badass kid, and he was tough. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Ahsoka and Anakin. Yeah, he went toe-to-toe with Ahsoka and
bounty hunter.
But the thing is, I get him not wanting to be a bounty hunter. Like,
and a lot of people don't have the history of the Clone Wars. Let me just put that out there.
I agree.
A lot of people do not have the history of the animated series. So all they have is what we've been given.
Yes. But Jon Favreau has the history, and he wrote it.
Yeah. And so, like,
he didn't write any of that backstory, which you just mentioned, which just jogged my memory. Like, because I forgot about all that what I saw in season 2 of little kid Boba. You brought that back for me. I appreciate it. That does help with the family element. But I have the benefit of having watched that. Again,
and have that. And anything that Jon Favreau writes, he always assumes that the viewer
he's a Star Wars nerd. So he's assuming everybody knows what I know.
If you don't know, so what?
1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't have a problem with him not being a bounty hunter, because like he's in like his 40s or 50s now, and he's like, I watched my dad get killed. You know what I'm saying? I end up in a silent pit. I've been working for all these badass people, and nothing good has come of it. I need to put some roots down. Like, I need to put some roots down. So it became more of a mafia story, like him establishing being a head of a crime family to me. My problem with it was he was soft as a crime lead. And he was like, and everybody was telling him, that's like, where's your garrison? Like, you just walking through the streets all by yourself. You ain't got nobody with your back. And it's just like, dude, this is not where we is. Go ahead, Centel, jump in there, man.
My thing is, and you hit the nail square on the head. First, just the overall culture of this anti-hero culture is just watering down good bad guys, just to begin with. And Disney has jumped on board and has done a disservice to this as well. Yo, Boba Fett is a bad guy. He's supposed to be a badass, a Jedi hunting badass on top of it. And I saw none of the thing that made him be loved. You're supposed to be terrified of Boba Fett. If you got a bounty on your head and Boba Fett is looking for you, you should be concerned. Violence should be ensuing. But the only person that has the traits of who Boba Fett is supposed to be is Fennec. Yeah. His number 2, she's dope. One of the coldest scenes in the whole series, spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen it, in the very end, she strings motherfuckers up, string them up, shoot people in the face from the shadows. I was like, yes. This is how Boba Fett is supposed to be. It's not your number 2. Your number 2 can be dope and can be fearful, but you shouldn't fear the number 2 more than you fear the number 1. And you should definitely fear the goons that are underneath you. You got these dudes wearing rocking Candy Crush motorcycles with lollipops in their mouths, and you're talking about, I'm gonna be holding down this whole block. You look like you came straight out of American Graffiti. What are you talking about? There's a complete detachment of who this bounty hunter is and who he's being portrayed on this Disney screen. Right. He's safe, and Boba Fett should never, under any circumstance, be safe.
Right. It's like, how do you even make the jump from being a bounty hunter to a crime lord and being soft? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was soft because when they introduced him in The Mandalorian, he was a badass. When he took on the stormtroopers, he bent down and shot the missiles from his knee. That was the Rodriguez.
Everything about his role with the Mandalorian from season 2 was great. He was like, "This is the guy we have." And then when he even in like the end when he walks in and he shoots old dude, you like, "Oh, Bubba about to lay down the law here." And he didn't. He wanted to be a different type of leader, and it was like, that's weird. And you can be, but it's like, you can't be that soft, because who's going to respect you?
He spent the first 3-4 episodes in Michael Jackson's hyperbaric chamber
in the back to tank.
I'm like, yo, get your old ass out this tank and go be a gangster. What's wrong with you? Like, I can forgive one episode. I can forgive one. But you're going to drag his ass out this damn tank for 4 straight episodes? Come on, man.
But somebody did drag his ass out of the tank. And that's a problem. Somebody literally yanked him up out the tank and threw him across the room.
And as a gangster, like, he should have never gotten that far. Like, before somebody took him out, I don't care how badass he was, he should have never gotten that far to touch the head guy.
But to a point that Centel made, and I don't know, my audio was breaking up, so I don't know if y'all heard me. Your number 2 should never be better than you. Your number 2 should be your person who like rolls with you and handles stuff that you don't really want to handle. But they should never be better than you, because then it makes you wonder, why is number 2 not running the deal?
Well, I don't
say
know.
It again. Say it again.
Bell was the number 2 for Avon, and he was the guy handling all this shit. I don't know if your number 2 can't necessarily be the badass. Luca Brogdon was the number 2 for The Godfather. Your number 2 can be the one that people fear, but it's something that you have over them that keeps them. Yeah. I agree.
She was mentoring him the whole entire show.
Yeah, right. That should not happen.
She schooled him though. Like, what are you doing, Boba? Like,
there's no reason she should be stopping him. He can't hear himself. He can't figure out that Cad Bane is gaming him. She had to come out and stop him and tell him, "Yo, man, this is we got you on our terms." Why is she educating you in the fly?
Right. That should not happen. Okay. That should not happen.
People have to understand. Number 1. People have to understand too. Boba Fett is a better fighter than Cad Bane. Overall, he's young Boba Fett was a better fighter than Cad Bane. That's the reason he had to escape Cad, because Cad realized, he's about to take his daddy's spot, and his daddy was over me, so I got to stop this. So I felt that was like him, Boba Fett losing his step makes sense. You know, Cad's people don't age the same way, so it made sense. So I found this very interesting. I was like, he would still be a badass, because they have a super clip of him being a badass in The Mandalorian, and then how he got thrown around by the Wookiee. What's the Wookiee's name? Chrysanthemum was throwing him around. I was like, that's bad. But the makeup on the Wookiee looked amazing. He looked amazing the whole entire time.
Yeah, the Wookiee looked dope.
Damn good.
He had them brass.
I love this character. I love this character. He came in as a badass.
When he came limping in,
yeah.
he came limping in at the end. His foot didn't work, but he still was gaming.
Handling
I was like, you better
He
go
had that hitch in his giddy up.
Yeah.
He was still getting it.
Yo, but here's the thing, in the ridiculousness of Boba Fett's leadership, because the whole time I'm watching last episode like this, and I'm like, it's 8 of y'all. Have y'all seen how big that city is? And you got one Wookiee holding down an entire sector of the city, and they're like, well, nobody should get by. Have you looked at a map? I mean, what is going on? What's this? I'm like, you think this one this one dude is gonna lock it all down?
But
all right, I almost flipped the table.
To be fair, Chrysanthemum he held it down. Like he was the one who was like when the chick from who I don't know her character.
He took an axe to his back.
Jennifer Beal, when she said, like, you remember who you used to be, like you were the fighter, you were the cave fighter. I mean, he's basically
Ali. A gladiator. Yeah, he's a gladiator.
Chrysanthemum is basically Tatooine's Ali. Okay, like you know what I'm saying? Like you cannot. He handled it. He handled it.
Y'all talked about Russell Crowe earlier. He's
the gladiator.
He's the character from Russell Crowe's character from Gladiator. Chrysanthemum is the Russell Crowe's character from Gladiator. Like he was killing
better
it.
Than Russell Crowe. Yeah. That's why I said Ali. He's better. He black. You know Chrysanthemum is black.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know who he reminded me of? Remember when we did Transformers? He reminded me of Megatron. How he worked his way up out of the pits. He was a gladiator, and he worked his way out of the pits to become like the head of the Decepticons. That's what he reminded me of. Just a general badass. And that's why I didn't quite understand. It's like how you have this guy take over a whole crime syndicate and he don't have any backup. Like you literally got mercenaries to help you with your backup. Like you don't have any button men or anything. Like how do you do that?
Button men fell off the cliff.
Got a bunch of dusty water farmers riding in their own huts. They were trying to come to the fight.
Took him in. Yeah, right. And you got kids. You literally got kids as your backup. Like what?
I mean,
what are we doing?
Power Rangers.
Like
Power Rangers. And they don't even know which Zord is there. The chick is all red with the red hair and the red pants and the red arm riding the yellow bike.
Yeah.
Why?
And she show up to a gunfight with a gun this big.
Yes,
I kept thinking about Harlem Nights when Arsenio Hall. Yeah, stop shooting that little motherfucker.
The black girl at the end in the final episode, she the Brown Ranger. Okay, she was like, "What you doing with that little baby gun?"
The black girl was dope. Why didn't we get? We needed more of her. She was dope. I was like, where'd she come from? I don't remember her, but she was
not
dope.
in there. She was not in there.
She was so dope. Yeah.
She wasn't there, but she was dope as well. She was fire.
Oh, she was fire from the moment she showed her on the screen. She had a plan. She was strategic, everything. She was so fly. And that was so the series struggled. Like there was some, it wasn't coherent, right?
No, it wasn't.
It felt like it was rushed. Yeah. It felt like it was rushed in the pandemic. It was like,
well, it didn't know what it wanted to be. I'm like,
here's the thing. I understand you want to catch up the people that have questions like, how did he get out of the Sarlacc pit? Okay, you could have gave us that one episode. I didn't need all those other episodes and all those other flashbacks of why he got this little sword or this little staff that he uses at the very end of the final episode. I didn't need that because the Tuscan Warriors, and here I'm gonna go on my diatribe real quick.
Go ahead, because you've been holding on for this one for a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For a really long time. And then I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let Centel finish his thought. Okay. The Tuscan Warriors. The last time we saw them fools was in episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and they had kidnapped and assaulted Anakin's mother. Okay, now I understand there's several tribes of different Tuscan Warriors, and they want you to know this tribe, they're friendly. Okay, even though they got Boba tied up, chained up, left out in the dirt with no water, they torturing him just like they tortured Anakin's mother and assaulted her multiple times. But now you want to redeem them because they didn't help Boba Fett and they gave him a little stick. You can't redeem this tribe of people who is known as villains and monsters because they didn't give Boba a stick. No. I'm done.
She's been holding on for that for a while, fam. I just want to put that out there. She's been holding on for a while. And I agree with her. Centel, go ahead. Jump in there, man.
All right, so listen. The stick part, there's a little bit of backstory with the stick. And I do agree with you, Court. Like them trying to pretend, trying to force us to pretend like the Tuscan Warriors haven't been raising ale since forever is a little hard.
And they didn't just
a little hard to swallow. But the stick I thought was interesting, not necessarily for the history of the Tuscan Raiders, but for the choice that was made by the actor that played Boba Fett. I'm going to pronounce his name incorrectly. Is it Timiero? Timiero? I think that's what his name.
Yeah, Timura.
Okay, so he is of Maori descent, which is an indigenous tribe of New Zealand, if I'm correct. And that stick with the bulb at the end of it, with the spike at the end of it, that was a weapon for warriors that the Maori tribe used. So I give a hat tip to Robert Rodriguez for allowing Temeru to put his culture into the character and give him a weapon that was actually that was I've never seen somebody wield that before, and then use the Maori fighting style in order to use it, and then use it in the final scene to close out that encounter with
Cad Bane.
with Cad Bane. So I hat tip the fact that Robert Rodriguez and Jon Favreau were inclusive enough to incorporate a real culture's weapon into the series, and I'll just leave that part in.
Okay.
I mean, they did that in The Mandalorian too.
Yeah, we've talked a lot, so let's talk about go ahead, Kurt.
One quick question. Okay, that is incredible facts, and I thank you for sharing that. It does help me a lot to have reverence for the staff. Okay. However, we're on an alien planet, and unless you're gonna give me that history, I need you to stay in one time place. Okay? Are you in now with the Maoris? Are you on Tatooine with these aliens? Okay? Give me that history.
You're absolutely right, but the founding culture of who the Jedi are, the founding culture is samurai. So it's already invoking Japanese culture to begin with, like that whole their mantras, the lightsabers, the stance, all of that, because George Lucas at the time was really fascinated with samurai. That is why Darth Vader's headgear looks the way it does. That's samurai headgear.
And it looks like a samurai,
True.
And he looks like a samurai.
And yet he confused it with the space element. He made it a lightsaber, not an actual blade. He made
right, and gave Vader's helmet that is the way it is too.
Exactly.
But it's like if
those two gaps.
But if you're a person of color and then imposing anything into a world that is so bogged down in its lore, and to incorporate a piece of your own culture, allow somebody to incorporate a piece of your culture, I just think that's just cool. That's all. I think that's just a cool thing that Rodriguez did.
Okay.
Or Favreau, whoever it is that greenlit it.
Whoever did it, and I agree with you. I just want to point, I want that to be known. I agree. I think it's incredible that he was able to incorporate his own people's indigenous weapons into a character that he portrayed. I absolutely bow to that ideology. I'm just saying. I think because we're in Star Wars, I needed you to find a way to take that same weapon and saucify it. Just make it a little bit something so that I don't know. I'm just mad at Boba Fett. It's not the weapon. Doesn't have anything to do with the weapon. And we can move on.
Let's talk about a part that at least I thought was bright.
Trying to make everybody angry. I respect the Maui culture.
Right. And Centel, we're in the chat. And he was like, you got to check out episode 5 or 4, whichever one it is, when we get the Mandalorian into it. And while it's frustrating that the best episode, at least from my opinion, was from not even related to the series, but I thought that episode was absolutely fantastic. fantastic from beginning to the end. Chuck, man, look, you're awful quiet there. How do you feel about episode 5, where we get reacquainted back with the Mandalorian?
I thought it was a good episode. Did it fit the series? It didn't fit the series at all, but I thought it was a good episode. I thought those could be bonus episodes they could have gave us outside of this series. But I understand they wanted to introduce the Mandalorian because he shows up with Boba Fett in the final episode, and they do their tag team fighting. I found it interesting that that he had something made for Grogu, and he wanted to deliver it to
His
him.
mithril.
Yeah, he took. She was like, "What do you want to make this into?" Because we can't have a blade, you can't have a staff made of Beskar because we don't use Beskar to make weapons.
But they have the whistlers, which was ridiculous to me. I was like, you've got whistlers, and that is as offensive of a weapon as it gets. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
that line just threw me.
Are they made of Beskar though? Are the whistlers?
Yes, the whistlers are made of Beskar. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They can pierce Beskar armor, and I guess whistlers probably couldn't pierce Beskar armor. They probably hit it and dent it, but they probably may not be able to pierce it. I don't know. Pierce normal armor, but not Beskar. But I like the fact that he's like, I got this little guy. I want you to make a T-shirt for him. And she made a chainmail T-shirt.
She made a chainmail
T-shirt for him, and he was like, "This gives me a reason to go see him." And he actually goes see him. And I like the fact that he ran into Ahsoka first. He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's just like, "What are you doing here?" Basically. And I thought that was really nice. And she had to explain to him, like, you can't go see him.
Why? I didn't get that.
Because he's training, and
I get he's training, but like that's those old Jedi things that have failed.
Exactly.
We need.
Luke didn't grow, as we've seen. He made the same mistakes that Yoda made. He's made the same mistakes that all the Jedi make.
Yeah. But here's the thing: he's condemning Grogu for doing what he did.
Man,
Empire. In Empire, he left training to go
help his friends. Exactly. And he didn't become a Jedi till he's like 25 years old. Like you done already changed different than what they had done previously. Like all the failures of the Jedi, he was recommitted. He made me so mad.
He was trying to rebuild those old laws. Like,
and I didn't get why. I didn't get why.
He failed.
He broke. Right.
Old laws that he broke, and he went home.
He felt that he failed.
And I love the episode, but I was pissed off at Luke. I was like, the Jedi are not good guys. It's more like Democrats and Republicans. They're just different versions of evil, dog. The Jedi ain't good people. I'm sorry. They take kids and turn them into child warriors without their parents and love and stuff like that. Yeah. They do that, and then they don't allow you to have any attachment to it, and then they wonder why they failing. No, hey man, Anakin needed help.
Sounds a bit like a cult. Sounds a bit.
Man. Not only did Anakin need help, Kylo Ren clearly needs help.
And that's why I believe Kylo.
My shirt.
I believe Kylo. I was like, Luke tried to kill his ass. After I saw what he did with Grogu, when he was like, you got to make a choice between your father figure and a lightsaber. Somebody that you don't even know. You talking about Yoda. He don't know who the fuck Yoda is. So why would he choose Yoda over his childhood hero?
That's from a movie.
That's from Wolf and Cub.
I get it was a movie, but they still threw it in there. And Luke is a bad mentor, and I believe Kylo Ren. Luke tried to kill him. And that's why he failed.
I believe Kylo Ren.
That's why he failed. That's why he failed. I would believe Kylo. I didn't. Right. I didn't first, but I was like, yeah, Luke got some bitch asses to kill. I believe Kylo now, dog.
I understand what.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I understand what Luke was doing. He was trying to bring back the old ways.
He was.
That's why Ahsoka looked at him and said, "You have a lot of your father in you."
Yup.
Yeah,
he's evil too.
Dang. Because he's trying to bring back the old ways.
Is the one person who says I can't train, but she's the one person who should be training. She's the only
Jedi. She's the only Jedi.
She's not a Jedi.
She's the only one who is balanced,
or was a Jedi.
She's the only one who's in harmony.
Yeah, she is.
Luke is not in harmony.
He don't know anything. He only had 6 months of training.
But Luke,
He was in
He
the
came
deck
off the
for
bench
like
rusty
6
as hell.
months, and then he went out and got his arm chalked off by his father, and then he completed his trip. Yoda was dead when he came back. Like Yoda was like, "I'm done."
yeah.
I'm done. You only had 6 months worth of training.
He died.
Away you must go.
Later. Yoda was like, "You good? You gotta know."
Right.
Yeah, he went to training. He did.
Yeah.
So he was trying to rebuild.
Luke shouldn't be training nobody. Now that I look at it, and I was like, yeah, that's why that whole temple failed.
Luke has always needed assistance from everybody, though. Too. This is every time he's tried to do something on his own, he's failed. He's failed. No. He's done on his own.
You made a point just now. Luke did not save the galaxy by himself.
No, he couldn't.
He did it with his attachments. He needed people. Why are you trying to tell Grogu that he should not need people?
Even from the moment he destroyed the Death Star, even from the moment
because Luke drank the Kool-Aid. That's why.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
Drank that Jedi Kool-Aid.
Luke actually thought maybe I would be better if I could have cleaned my training. You know, when he destroyed the Death Star,
that's a stretch, man.
I'm glad Grogu chose his chainmail shirt.
Well, let's talk about that. I am too.
That was going to happen.
Let your chain swing.
I knew that.
I was so happy when Grogu showed up. CP3O in the back. Exactly. I was so happy. I was like, R2D2. I said
R2. What'd you say?
Yeah.
He was like, look, Dad, man, Luke tripping. I'm about to kick it with you.
I wish R2 would have stayed, though.
X-Wing.
I thought R2 was going to like make sure Grogu got to where he was going and then go home.
R2 seemed
like drop Grogu off was like, yo.
R2 did not seem like R2. Like usually R2 is about that rebellious life. Like you, he's like, yeah, fam, like, yeah, I'm gonna help y'all out. But R2 didn't seem like R2.
No,
he just
went right back. He went right back.
Like that's something CP3O would do, but R2 is not about like leaving your friends and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, R2. You know what? R2's friends. R2's friend is Luke. He only knows Luke.
That's true. He don't know the people.
You don't know.
But I appreciated that little lady who, you know, I feel like Game of Thrones. This is a big Game of Thrones. Like, except with Game of Thrones, I read all the books, so I knew all the characters' names. I just don't bother learning anybody's name in this show. Like, I know Finnick, I know Boba, and I know Mandalorian is Dark, Din Djarin. Okay, that's all I need. The little lady who fixes all the speeders.
Yeah.
When she said Grogu, that's a stupid name. You better go ahead.
Yeah. She was like, I'm not calling you that. She was like, I'm not calling you that.
I'm not calling you that. Yo, you got to keep in mind though, but she dabbles in Jawas, so she ready for the world. She wanted
to hang off that dude's little like tails. She was like,
she was like, you got some nice tails.
I liked him as a character.
And she was like, boy, come on, they shooting at us. Come on, like we can do all that later.
No. When she's like, you have him grab Grogu and protect him, and she's like, who's gonna protect us?
And that was the thing. Hilarious. It had good legs. It had, like, we talked about the black girl, we talked about that character. Like, it had legs for
3 episodes.
And Jessica
Biel had good legs, but it just didn't come.
Was looking good in it. They blew her up.
Huh?
Jessica Biel.
I'm still trying to understand how she moved the story.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah,
I still can't figure out how she moved the story. Like, why was her character there? I still, somebody asked me that.
No, so that we could feel something when her building got blown up.
Yeah.
Yo, they spent she had like some big scenes, and I thought she was gonna be like, you know, I don't know.
I thought she was gonna be the woman
something
from the.
I thought she was gonna be a secret bounty hunter. Or like Mata Hari or something.
They blew her up and kept it moving. I was like, that's it? She's not gonna contribute nothing else? I didn't understand that at all. That's frustrating.
I didn't understand a lot of that. Oh, one fun fact that I did think was interesting. Fennec Shan, like discovering that she's modified. Like, because every time, you know, I didn't know Fennec, like when she wears that little black belt or what have you, she's always just had it because she's, as I discovered, she's in the anime series and has a relationship with Cad Bane. Like, she has history with him, and but she's always worn the black belt. So I never, the fact that we find out that she's modified, I thought that was really interesting.
She wasn't modified then, though. when she
With
the
what?
history within Rebel, not in Rebels, but the history in the Clone Wars with Cad Bane.
Oh, she's
And
looking?
no, she's not modified.
Oh,
Cad
that's
Bane
pre?
shoots her.
Wait, okay. So tell me.
That's pre though.
That's
So wait. So I know
modification.
Clone Wars is pre, but Rebels is not post Boba Fett?
Rebels is between like I'm trying to think. It's between 3 and 4.
Yeah. Of the movies.
Rebels is between 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
The movies,
They're between 3 and 4.
Yes, it's when it was an Operation 66 happens. That's when Rebels happens.
Right. Yeah. It's after the Empire has ascended, it's Rebels. It's between that period. Because there's a really dope scene between a character and they have a huge fight about a certain other character. So yeah, it's between episode 3 and episode 4.
So in the Bad Batch, the Bad Batch is about the set of clones that are not modified. Their chip didn't take for them because they're just different. And Omega, and Omega's the girl clone. She's Boba Fett's baby sister. Because Boba Fett's name is Alpha. He's actually called Alpha. And she's
I haven't watched the Bad Batch yet.
Yeah, so she's just as strong as Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett is a perfect clone. And so Omega is a perfect clone too. And Fennec Shan is protecting Omega and she gets shot in that. And
she's a dope character.
Then Boba Fett comes and saves her and makes her modified.
Okay. And she's a dope character. We had the groundwork was there.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't build on it.
They didn't build on it. They spent too much time in the Tuscan Raider backstory.
They spent too much time on all that backstory.
Too much time in the Bacta tank.
Yeah.
Too much time in the Bacta tank. Yeah.
Do you all think was it COVID that caused it to only be 7 episodes? Because maybe if we had more episodes,
I think COVID caused it to be written the way it was written.
Nah, the only reason why I disagree with that because episodes 4. Listen, episodes 4 was the 2 they had the Mando. They were tight as a drum, solid.
Yes.
Yeah. 5 and 6 are great.
Because let me just tell you how Centel always talks about the phone test. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 did not pass the phone test for me. and I say that because when I think it was either episode 3, because episode 4 was when we learned more about Fennec Shand and her relationship with him. So it was either in 3 or 4 when we got that. No, it was 4 when we got that conversation between Boba and the heads of the town, who he said, "Okay, if you guys don't want to join me, then at least don't join in on the battle that I'm about to have."
Neutral. Right.
Yeah.
I forgot all of that. I forgot all those people. So when it came into the end, and he's sitting there and all these little people, and they got having their conversations, and they with the mayor, like, what you gonna do, this, that, and the third, and all this. I was like, who are these people? Where'd they come from?
Oh, yeah, I knew they were. Yeah.
And then I had to remember, these are the people that Boba said don't get involved, and they did the exact opposite and got involved, which is why, spoiler alert, they died.
I know it made it bad. It made the last episode angry for me. Fennec Shan is nowhere in that last episode.
Nowhere in it, and I was hot.
And I was like, how you not have her?
No, she should have been in the battle.
No, but she should have been in the battle.
Definitely. She should have definitely
She had the best scene. She had the best scene in that episode.
She had the best scene at the end. So
I think what happened was they forgot that they left her out and was like, oh, let's make this last scene and put her in it.
Because she was dope. That last scene where she takes on all the Pike people and that she is just badass doing all of
she's badass.
Yeah.
But she's a badass.
As the episode. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you watch the Bad Batch, you see how badass she is.
Yeah, she's a dope character. She's a dope character.
Right, but
she is an assassin. She's like Ventress.
Oh, can I say one thing in the last episode? Now y'all know me. I'm a diehard Baby Yoda fan. Baby Yoda can do no wrong. He will never be Grogu for me. His name is Baby Yoda. I didn't really need him. I didn't really need him. Like when he showed up, he was real cute. He made it real cute. I didn't need it to be cute. Okay. I needed it to be a battle. And I'm like, you trying to protect and save Baby Yoda while you still trying to take out these like scorpion droids and what have you. Yeah. Real cool that Baby Yoda took out one leg. And then he calmed down the Rancor. Was it super cute to see Baby Yoda calm down the Rancor and then like lay down and take a nap with him? Super cute. Did I need it to be cute? Hell no. It's a war.
There were a few scenes in that war. I was like, did we really need, like, when he turns around, the black guy turns around and shoot. I'm like, you in the middle of a battle.
That scene.
Yo, my man did the spin. He did the full spin. I'm like, what are you doing? See, but that's Rodriguez. That's Rodriguez. That's Rodriguez.
That's typical Rodriguez. Yeah.
Rodriguez does weird spins, and when Boba Fett was shooting missiles from his kneecap, I was like, oh, that's Rodriguez.
Oh,
you can smell Rodriguez.
I was okay with the missile recap.
I love the missile recap. I really did. I really did
support.
I was like, am I watching Planet Terror again? Are we gonna have a girl walking out with a machine gun as a leg? I was like, Rodriguez went unchecked.
Could have been a guitar case. Could have been a machine gun guitar case. Yeah.
When you did that spin, I was so mad.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing here, people?
I mean, Chrysanthemum, he drops Chrysanthemum's arm, already has the gun. It would be different if he didn't have the gun in his hand.
Right.
He had the gun in his hand and then spun around and shot with the gun in the same hand.
Right. It made no sense. Right. It made no sense.
Have y'all seen Desperado? Have y'all seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Is this like that? The initial shootout is pulled directly from those movies. I mean, you can't get a more Rodriguez film than Episode 7. It was all of his tropes.
It was already
all of it. Every
when
piece
they
of
flew
it.
up together when they were shooting.
Yeah, they're back to back, brother, in the shoot. I'm like, this is Rodriguez.
I enjoyed the battle, but I thought a few things. I was like, well, especially because we had Chrysanthemum, who was kicking ass, and he was just badass. He had his big gun. He had his big gun. And he was like, ooh, like, yeah, he was doing his thing.
Power Rangers shouldn't have been able to talk. They just should have been there to shoot and be muscles. I didn't need that girl opening her mouth for anything. I didn't need her.
Why do we need American Graffiti to begin with? Why you come from a you hang around killers, and you get American Graffiti?
Yeah, you're supposed to be a mob boss. You get teenagers, right?
I forgot what the best was. It's actually from a movie. They actually ripped that from.
Oh, I mean, but still, he's
the world's slowest. You're talking about the world's slowest chase scene? Is that what you're talking about? With the Vespas, that was the world's slowest. I've never seen a chase scene where everybody was going 15 miles an hour. It reminded me of that moment in Austin Powers when he's in the thing, it's going really slow, and he's like, "Watch out!" And he's just still kind of buttering along. That is what that chase scene reminded me of.
The bad part was
Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool scene when he got his fight, when the Mandalorian got his fighter, it was badass. It was going all through space and speeding on.
Yeah.
Like, to contrast that against that, we was like, why do we do that? Because it was such a dope scene. But
going back to Episode 6, the introduction of Cad Bane, I thought was an incredibly dope moment.
Yes. And I knew who it was when I first saw it. I was like, hold up.
When I saw the hat,
I was like, is that Cad Bane coming up here? And he's like, and then when old dude's like, man, go back in the saloon. Like, I got this. He was like, no, I'm going to stay out here. I was like, this motherfucker.
That's a body. There's a body right there.
I knew he was going to die, but I was mad that Timothy Olyphant.
And he put 6 in him, too.
You know what I mean? But again, going back to that entrance, it was one of the best entrances of a character, fan loved character ever.
And Cad Bane's swagger was on a trillion.
Yes, it was.
She walked it. I was like, yes.
And the makeup, the design,
everything.
Everything was
the way the hat was so down low. I was like,
dialogue, everything.
It was Cad Bane.
It was Cad Bane. They did him well.
They did him.
Yo, when he wanted that heat, he wanted it so bad. I was like, yes. This is what he's like. Please come out here with this.
He was like, this is what I need. This is and it was brilliant.
That's what Finnick. Finnick was like, you don't want this, man. Come on back in the house. Come on back in the house.
In that episode, they established how dope Finnegan was when the Pike Riders was trying to take over, and he was like, "Don't even try it," and he shoots dudes. So we know his skill level is high. But then when that damn Cad Bane comes in, it's like this is next level. Like you a good college player, Oh, goddamn Brian, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. You lead, you know what I'm saying? You
Even at the
good.
end, when Cad Bane said, "You're not a faster shot than me,"
He's
No.
like, you're
I was
not
like,
better than me, fam.
"You're really
Yeah.
not."
JD had a line was like,
But-
we both shine, but you're a candle in the sun. It just don't even out.
Yeah, but it is but
Yo, he
but
was
at one point Boba was better than Cad Bane in the series, in the comic books. He was better.
Well, there's a loss.
Yeah.
Dave
We
Filoni
lose
wanted
that.
to. He wanted to have a whole
backstory.
series about those two, but
They should. That's what the backstory
that's the
should
year
have
that
been.
Disney bought Star Wars, and it was on Cartoon Network, and so they canceled it because they weren't going to have a Disney property on Cartoon Network, which is a Time Warner property.
Yeah.
So that whole series got scraped.
Yeah. So Cad
He
Bane
had a whole thing. He's got cover art. If you go online, he's got cover art of battles and teaching, because he kind of Cad Bane kind of raised him.
He raised him
things.
after Django died, because
that's the story I want to hear.
Django
got artwork. Dave Filoni's got artwork for it out there and everything, and it's so. But he just. Dave Filoni. He didn't have time.
Randy be killing names.
Well, y'all know that. They know that.
Dave Filoni is an actual director, but it's not this one.
Yeah, it's not this one. But yeah, there's artwork. There's no artwork and everything out there for it. He just never got a chance to bring that story to
Cad
fruition.
Bane. So Django was number 1, and Cad Bane was his number 2.
Yeah.
Django dies.
Yeah.
And then Cad Bane becomes number 1 and takes his son in and raises.
And Cad Bane, for people who don't know, is super dope. He's taking on Anakin.
Incredible.
He's taking on Obi-Wan.
With
He's
Bob,
taking on Chancellor Palpatine. He survived them
Lord
all.
Sidious. He's taking down the Chancellor. He's supposed to kill the Chancellor.
Yeah, man.
He have the Senate.
Yeah.
And held them hostage and got everything he wanted.
Because Dooku had him go after the Supreme Chancellor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and because nobody knew the Supreme Chancellor was Lord Sidious.
Right.
Sidious told Dooku, tell your bounty hunter to come go kidnap the Chancellor.
Yeah.
It's like, how you gonna tell somebody to kidnap you?
They wasted a phenomenal villain on 2 scenes.
They wasted him and then supposedly killed him. I was like, he better not be dead. But considering that, spoiler alert, at the very, very end, if you watch to the very end, we see that Timothy Oliphant's character
is
not only in the Bacta tank, but we got the mod dude, the mod doctor, Dr. Frankenstein, who about to like soup his ass up.
Yeah,
Thundercat.
Yeah, I thought that was fly.
Is that Thundercat?
Yeah, Thundercat got the blonde dress. They put Thundercat into the series.
He's like a DJ, right? He's like a DJ.
He's a DJ. He's a music maker. He's a musician. He's a jazz musician.
Yeah.
Thundercat.
I didn't know that was Thundercat.
That's Thundercat.
Those are things that are fly about the series. So there was a good foundation. Maybe season 2, they tap into that if we have a season 2.
My God, I hope not.
I hope they have a Phoenix show. A Phoenix show.
I do want to give a shout out. I do want to give a shout out to tomorrow the character that played the actor that played Boba Fett. I want everybody to keep in mind, this man is 60 years old. He's 60, and he out there getting it in with a bunch of young people. I hate that they waste, like, once you hit a certain age, every year is a pretty big drop off of what you can physically accomplish. And I feel like we wasted a good year of what he brings as underneath the helmet of Boba Fett. So mad props to him, because he did a lot of his own stunts. He was there. I don't know too many cats that can do that on that level, so big props to the actor that was able to pull that off.
All right, guys. Well, we've talked about it. We're going to rewrite this thing. So we started off with Courtney last time, and Chuck, we ended with you. So we're going to start off with you this time, Chuck. How are you going to rate?
I'm staying the mini meal. I'm staying the mini meal.
Okay. All right. Centel, bro, how you going to rate it? We convinced you to change it anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't going up from a mini meal. It just wasn't happening. I was actually hoping that y'all could convince me to keep me from making the true score where I really wanted it to be, and that was a snack. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and slide down. I know that's not a big thing. Normally we slide up. I'm gonna slide down to a snack. It's too many larger problems that can't that the good can't overcompensate for it. There was good in it, but it was just far too many gaps.
Before you continue, I wonder if they were trying to make it campy. I wonder if they were pushing towards Star Wars camp.
I think they were pushing.
I think they
the
were pushing
spaghetti
towards
western
camp.
element.
I mean,
However, it
The
failed.
Vespas, the mods.
that last scene we get somebody
mechanics.
hung though. That's kind of intense. I was like, oh, did
Man,
Disney
camp
really?
has worse things.
Yeah.
Camp has people
like-
catching
Yeah.
crabs and all kinds of stuff.
I don't,
in it.
but this is Disney camp though. Like they,
Disney's not getting
It's
crabs.
not
yeah,
Disney camp,
Disney ain't
it's-
getting. That's what I'm saying. This is Disney
it's-
camp.
this
Like
is
they literally
Lucas
hung
camp.
a person. I was like, oh.
Well,
This is
yeah, I mean,
Lucas
the
camp.
We didn't
the
see
whole
heads.
thing is, it's like if there was a CW network for Disney projects, this would be perfect for that. This is like CW quality, and Disney has had
Titans.
such a standard. No, Titans is above CW. It is a little bit just above it, but Disney has conditioned me into accepting a standard. You know, and this just fell below that. So it's hard to forgive that. If you'd have let me know up front, like if this came out on Disney Max, you know, I'd be like, oh, okay, it's Disney Max. It's fine. We can rock with that. But nah, man, you're on Disney Plus. You got to step that up.
I'm going to hold firm at my mini meal. Like I said, the definition of mini meal is not great. It's not bad. It's just kind of like, and that's what I felt. I thought there were some good things to it, and I thought there were some bad things, and I thought they evened each other out. So I'm gonna stick with my rating of a mini meal. Miss Courtney, how are you gonna put your final rating of the Book of Boba Fett?
Well, let me tell you why I can't go up. I'm sticking at a
Well, we
snack.
know you're not going up.
I mean, the reason is a third of the series he was not in.
That's fact.
Like there's only 4 episodes really to the Book of Boba Fett, and half of the very final one. You know what I'm saying? You had to bring in the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda in order to close out this book. You had to bring in the puppet as your closer. Okay,
Yeah.
I cannot go up.
Hey,
You
hey.
only have 4
Hey.
episodes.
If they could, they would put the puppet in all the last 3 movies, all 3 times. So if
tell
they
you,
could,
let
that
me
might have not been a bad
that
idea.
puppet
That
would
might have
sell
not
a-
been a bad idea.
that puppet would have saved
Listen, if
those
that
3
puppet had been in
movies.
7, 8, and 9,
Right.
I would have liked them.
Right.
But yeah, I can't go up.
It's the cheat code. The puppet's the cheat code.
He wasn't in a third of his series. I loved episode 5 because I'm sorry, I'm gonna close out soon. When Centel put in the chat, hey, you gotta watch episode 5, and I said I'm not caught up. He was like, no, just go ahead and watch it. I'm not caught up. I understand. Just watch it. Do I need the other episodes? No. That was my first clue. That was my first clue that there was a problem.
And these are all facts, people. These are all facts.
I said, just trust me.
Episodes? Then that is a huge problem. That means your hero character's not even in the episode. So I can't. I'm being nice and not giving it cringeworthy. And that is because of the Mandalorian, the Black Saber, and Baby Yoda. That's the only reason that it is not cringeworthy.
Mhm.
All right. So we got let's see here. We got 10, 4. So we got 2.5. That's 2.5. We can round that up to
You gotta
a
round that
mini
up.
meal. We can round it up to a mini meal. It's right on the cusp. It's right
That-
there. Like you can't
You doing
roast some
I got a
margin.
Boba
you doing a
Fett
disservice
jacket,
to
y'all.
our viewers.
Let me tell
You need to
how
speak
angry
these
I
truths.
was.
Margin, right? It's right there.
I got
Like
a Boba Fett jacket, friends.
I mean, hey, I'm
I'm
rocking the
die hard.
Mandalorian shirt, but like there's
It hurt
no
my
room
feelings.
for breath. Like there's no room, there's no margin for it is literally at the minimum to get a mini meal, a minimum, right?
Mhm.
If I change my rating, it's going the other way. If me and Chuck change our rating, it's going the other way. But with that being said, we're going to round it up.
Mhm.
We're going to round it up, and it is a mini meal. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So Courtney, you got anything? You got any parting words? Anything you want us to know before we head out?
I'm really sorry to the audience that really love Boba Fett. If you're upset with anything that I said, I apologize, but I stick by what I said.
She said what she said.
What I said.
She said what she said. She said what she said, and she's gonna stand on it. And we support that here. We got your back, Courtney. We got your back, 100%. We got your back. Centel, bro, you got anything to say before we head out?
Hell yeah, I should have known something was wrong when they changed Boba Fett ship from Slave 1 to the fucking Rainbow Cruiser.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's called something else, but it might as well be called the Rainbow Cruiser because we got the Get Along Gang as his sidekicks. You know, getting around. I can't get. That's it. I'm done. I'm off my...
Good luck and good night.
Good luck and good night.
Well, we should have known. Like, Tatooine is only 5 years, like 10 years out of slavery, guys. It literally is 10 years because the episodes 1 and 2
fresh off the whip.
It was slavery, right? It's literally 10 years out of slavery, dog.
They're not out of slavery.
I don't know. I thought I remembered it like episode 2 that slavery is outlawed.
Even when they go to the planet when Ray's there, they still had slaves.
That's what I'm saying, dog. These people don't even know. They don't know anything, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, it took the people, like, they changed their name to Freetown. They literally changed their name to Freetown. And their leader got killed before they figured, like, well, we might want to protect our own planet, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's like the equivalent of like 1870 in Tatooine. Like,
yeah, it is.
Like they're a couple years outside of the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? It's
yo, their backup rolled up in an intergalactic pickup truck, and it was like 9 of them. And I'm like, that's the squad. Somebody might as well have been strumming a banjo on the back of that thing to make it more fitting.
Fam, they're sharecroppers. That's what they are. They're sharecroppers. I'm surprised they're not throwing rocks and sticks at the droids. You know what I'm saying? Tatooine is a fucked up place, and that's what I'm saying. It actually made me care about Tatooine. That's why I gave it a mini meal.
What's left? You guys, the Hutt.
Yo, the Hutt was like, man, ain't no money here. We out.
Ain't no money here. Like, it's Tatooine. Like, they done killed our cousin. Right, they done killed our cousin, killed his replacement. Well, we are. Let's go.
Yeah, the twins were like,
hey, cuz, let's get up out of here. Like, you can have it, bounty hunter. You can have it.
It's yours.
You got to deal with the Pike.
Right, yeah. It's like, yeah.
The Pike gives us money.
So, I mean, it's Tatooine, dog. It's Tatooine. So, all right. Chuck, you got anything to say before we head out, man?
Oh, no. It was good to see the Hutts, too, to see some more Hutts. It was interesting. Let us know the Hutts are still around.
Yeah,
well, Hutts are still around.
They still shrunk.
Yeah.
Ever since George Lucas rebooted the Hutts, they've been miniaturized. It's like they couldn't afford a whole Jabba. If they just given us one Hutt, we'd have got a regular sized Jabba.
Yeah. And I underappreciated how gangster Jabba was based off of his size. Like, that dude was eating good.
Yeah,
he was eating good.
He held Tatooine down the way it's supposed to be held down, didn't he? He was a kid. Hey, I'm sorry. As a kid, when I saw Leia in the slave bikini, I was like, that's awesome. Like, Leia's dope. Like, it's dope, dog.
Yeah, and it was even more awesome when she choked him.
Yeah, when she choked him out, that was dope. That was dope.
Don't get me wrong. I wanted the little outfit. You know, I wanted to be Leia in the outfit. I didn't want to be a slave, but I wanted to be Leia.
Yeah. And like we said, I mean, Tatooine is just fucked up. It's nothing but sand and desert.
We're not gonna talk about how Boba Fett rode Falcor into battle, and we're not gonna talk about.
We're not. We've already given our ratings to We're not changing it. We're not. We're not. No, we're not. So with that being said,
held up his little hand. The Godzilla. Yes, we are. The Godzilla moment.
We are not. We are done. We are done. We are done.
When the Rancor climbed up the building.
We're done.
We are done. We've already given 2 ratings. We are done.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please, hey, if you're listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. You can like us there. The Geekish Network, we are here to provide entertainment and analysis from people who are underrepresented, people of color. So we do this for you all. We've got writers, directors, producers, tech people. That's what the Geekish Network is all about. Is it about proper representation? So support us by liking that subscribe button, support us by hitting that like button, hitting on Facebook and Twitter. And also we've got audio version. If you can't look at us while you are driving in your car or listening to podcasts, we've got the audio version. So check us out there wherever your favorite podcasts are downloaded, on Spotify, Apple Music, any of those, wherever you can find your podcast. So next week, I think we're doing Kung Fu. Is that what we're doing? We're doing Kung Fu because we're supposed to do it last week. So we're going to do a Kung Fu. So tune in to us next week as we will be evaluating CW's Kung Fu. And with that being said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you guys. And we will holler at you next week. Same bat time, same back channel. Peace out.